Hey everyone, hey Wellness Crew, and welcome to today's session. I'm so glad that you're here to join me, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to begin in Warrior 1, moving into Warrior 2, turning our palm underneath to come into Reverse Warrior, back into Warrior 2, and back into Warrior 1. Warrior 2, turning our palm underneath to come into Reverse Warrior, coming back into Warrior 2, and back into Warrior 1. Warrior 2, turning that palm underneath to come into Reverse Warrior, Warrior 2, and back into Warrior 1. Warrior 2, turning that palm underneath for Reverse Warrior, Warrior 2, and back in to Warrior 1. Warrior 2, turning that palm underneath for Reverse Warrior, Warrior 2, and back into Warrior 1. Warrior 2, turning that palm underneath to come into Reverse Warrior, Warrior 2, and Warrior 1. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing with the left leg in front. Warrior 1, Warrior 2, turning that palm underneath for Reverse Warrior, Warrior 2, and Warrior 1. Warrior 2, turning that palm underneath for Reverse Warrior, Warrior 2, and Warrior 1. Warrior 2, turning that palm underneath to come into Reverse Warrior, Warrior 2, and Warrior 1. Warrior 2, turning that palm around to come into Reverse Warrior, Warrior 2, and Warrior 1. Warrior 2, turning that palm over, coming into Reverse Warrior, aiming for a bind with your right hand on your thigh if you can. Warrior 2, and Warrior 1. Warrior 2, turning that palm over to come into Reverse Warrior, Warrior 2, and Warrior 1. Perfect. All right, let me go ahead, set my watch to yoga. I forgot to do that earlier. I'm sorry. All right, we're going to go ahead and start in mountain position. We're going to step our left foot back to come into a lunge. Returning back to that mountain position and bringing our right foot back for a lunge with our arms overhead. Mountain, lunge. Mountain, lunge. Mountain, lunge. Mountain, lunge. 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 Whoops. Almost lost my balance there. Mountain, lunge. 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 Mountain. Raising our hands up overhead. Swan diving into a forward fold. Stepping our legs back into plank. Bending the elbows to come into hovering, where only the palms of our hands, the balls of our feet, and our toes are in contact with the mat, nothing else. Coming into upward facing dog. Tucking our toes underneath for downward facing dog. Walking our hands in towards our feet, forward fold. And slowly rolling up. Raising our arms up overhead. Swan diving into a forward fold. Walking our hands forward into plank. Bending at the elbows to come into hovering. Coming into upward facing dog. Tucking the toes underneath for downward facing dog. Walking our hands in towards our feet. Forward fold. And slowly rolling up. We're going to go ahead and get into the lunge with our right foot forward. We're going to bring our hands into prayer position. We're going to turn to our right, bringing our left elbow to the outside of our right thigh, aiming for our hands to be in the center of our chest. So a lunge with a prayer twist. Coming back to center. Then coming into mountain pose. Raising our arms up overhead. Swan diving into a forward fold. Coming into plank. Bending the elbows to come into hovering. Coming into upward facing dog. Tucking our toes underneath for downward facing dog. Walking our hands in, forward fold. And slowly rolling up. Raising our arms up overhead. Swan diving into a forward fold. Walking our hands forward, plank. Bending at the elbows to come into hovering. Coming into upward facing dog. Tucking our toes underneath for downward facing dog. Stepping our right foot forward, the left follows, forward fold. And slowly rolling up. All right, we're gonna go ahead, come into a lunge with our left leg in front. We're gonna bring our hands into that prayer position. We're gonna turn to the left, having our right elbow on the outside of our left thigh, aiming for our hands to be in the middle of our chest. Coming back into center, coming into mountain pose, raising our arms up overhead, swan diving into a forward fold, stepping the feet back to come into plank, bending at the elbows to come into hovering, coming into upward facing dog, tucking the toes underneath for downward facing dog, stepping one foot forward, the other one follows, forward fold, and slowly rolling up. We're going to go ahead, bring our legs wide, our toes out. We're going to bend our knees. We're going to go ahead and extend our arms to either side of our body. Turning our palms down as we come onto our toes. And as we come back to our heels, turning the palms up. Toes, palms down. Heels, palms up. 2 more. Last one. Coming into a forward fold with straddled legs. We're going to turn our right toe to the right hand side, bringing that back foot up just a bit, bringing our right hand down to the mat, and bringing our left arm up for pyramid. And if you need to bend your knee, your front leg, that's perfectly okay. Bringing our toe back forward, coming into that straddle-legged forward fold. Turning that left toe, those left toes to the left, bringing that back leg forward just a bit, bringing our left palm to the mat, and reaching up with our right arm for pyramid. Coming back to center for straddle-legged forward fold. Turning that right foot to the right hand side, bringing our right hand to the mat, reaching up with our left arm to come into triangle, looking up at your hand. Coming back into that straddle-legged forward fold. Turning that left foot out to the left-hand side, bringing our left hand, our palm to the mat, reaching up with our right arm, looking to our right hand. Coming back into center for straddle-legged forward fold. Going ahead, bending the knees, bringing our hands into prayer position, coming into a deep goblet squat. You got this. Bringing our hands to the mat, we're going to pop our butt up, coming into a reverse good morning, squatting down, pop, and reverse good morning for a yoga twerk. Squat, pop, reverse good morning. Five more. Perfect. We're going to go ahead, come into a chair flow, bringing our hands back and around, or our arms, I should say, coming into chair, hands back around, chair, hands back around, chair, hands back around, chair, Hands back around. Chair. We got 4 more. Hands back around. Chair. Hands back around. Chair. Hands back around. Chair. Hands back around. And chair. Coming into mountain position, we're going to go ahead and come into a tree positioning, beginning with our foot down by our ankle, our knee out. We're going to start with our hands. Excuse me. We're going to start with our hands in prayer position. I had my hair in my eye and I was like, get out of the way. We're going to go ahead and extend our arms up and out, just like a tree. Bringing our hands back to prayer position. We're going to go ahead, bring our foot up to our calf. Extend our arms up and out, just like a tree. Coming back into prayer hands position. If you need to use your arm to bring your foot up to your thigh, that's perfectly okay. Just don't have your foot on your knee. We want to stay safe. Extending our arms up and out. Bringing our hands back to prayer position. Grabbing at our right foot. We're going to go ahead, extend that right leg. Extending that left arm out. This is a balanced position. Releasing that foot and switching sides. So we're going to go ahead, bring our foot to our ankle, having our hands in prayer position. Then we're going to go ahead, extend our arms up and out for full tree. Making sure that knee is out towards the left-hand side. Bringing our hands back into prayer position. We're going to go ahead and bring our foot to our calf. Extending our arms up and out for prayer position. For full tree, excuse me. Getting my words all mixed up today. And that's okay, right? We're not aiming for perfection. We're just aiming for progress. Every time that we do some yoga, we're just getting closer to being a little bit more flexible, a little bit stronger, and being a little bit more mobile. Bringing our hands to prayer position. If you need to use your left hand, go ahead. We're going to bring our foot to our thigh. Remember, not to our knee because we want to stay safe. Having our hands in prayer position. We're going to go ahead, reach up and out with our arms to get into full tree. We're going to go ahead and grab at that left foot with our left hand. Extending it out, extending our right arm out. Releasing that foot. Going ahead, coming down onto our hands and knees for tabletop. Arching our back, inhaling. Reversing the arch, exhaling. Cat-cow. Last 3. We're going to go ahead and extend our right arm and our left leg. Switching sides. Hopefully you don't have something blocking you from behind. We got 2 more. All right, from there, we're going to go ahead, come into a seated position with our knees bent in front of us, our feet flat on the ground, our palms on the mat, our fingers facing us, behind us, coming up into reverse tabletop, and down, up, and down, up, and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. We're going to go ahead and lay back, turning our palms underneath, coming up for wheel. Coming back down, sitting up, getting back to get ready for that reverse tabletop flow. Up and down, 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 up and down. Lying down, bringing our palms to the mat, reverse, getting into wheel. Coming back down, bringing our knees into our chest with our fingers interlaced below our knees. I'm just going to scoot down just a bit. Bringing our hands to our lower back for a shoulder stand. Letting our feet fall over, slowly but surely. Extending our arms out for plow. Coming back into our shoulder stand. And coming back into knees to chest. Coming back into that shoulder stand. Slowly letting our feet fall over, extending our arms for plow. Returning to that shoulder stand. And returning to knees to chest with our fingers interlaced below our knees. Returning to that shoulder stand. Slowly lowering our feet down, extending our arms out for plow. Returning to that shoulder stand. And returning to knees to chest with our fingers interlaced below our knees. We're going to go ahead and bring our hands behind our head with our knees still in that knees to chest position. We're going to lift our head, extend our legs up, lower them down, and lower our head as we bring our knees in. We're going to go ahead and turn over to get into crow. So we're going to have the palms of our hands on the mat. We're going to bring our knees up over our elbows and coming into a balance on our hands. Coming back into that supine position to get back to our core work. Bringing our hands behind our head, bringing our knees to chest. Lift and extend, lower and in. Extend, lower and in. We're going to go ahead and turn over to come back into crow. So palms down on the mat, lifting our feet up off the mat. Perfect. We're going to go ahead and come to a seated position, having our right knee stacked on top of our left. We're going to bring our hands into prayer position. We're going to go ahead and turn to our right side. So having our left elbow on the outside of our right thigh. Oh, I know my hair's a mess. It's from all those inverted positions. Coming back to center, we're going to go ahead and stack our left knee on top of our right. Bringing our hands into prayer position. Turning to our left-hand side, bringing our right elbow to the outside of our right thigh. Our left thigh. Excuse the noise, there's still construction going on in the neighborhood. Coming back to center, we're going to go ahead and straddle our legs out, reaching for the middle, coming down into a straddle-legged forward fold, seated. Relaxing the head. Coming to the right-hand side. And coming to the left-hand side. Coming back to center. Slowly rolling up. We're going to go ahead and come into our last pose before we come into Shavasana. So we're going to have our knees bent, our feet flat on the mat. We're going to raise up our hips. We're going to interlace our fingers. We're going to bring our shoulders back behind us. Releasing our hands, bringing our shoulders back to normal position. We're going to go ahead and extend our legs out, having our palms facing the sky. Breathing in slowly, in through our nose, and out through our mouth. Thinking of one thing that you're grateful for, keeping that in your mind and in your heart, and allowing gratitude to emanate from your heart. Slowly coming up into a seated position, and namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for today's session. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and or join one of the membership tiers as it is popping off. I'll see you on the next video or live stream. Be well, stay wild as well.